Professional wrestling is the single best form of entertainment in the world. Don't agree? Then we fight.
Or we can make our case through whimsy and technicality. Pro wrestling combines music, fashion, drama, and combat. It has it all. But every now and then, it's good to see something you love from a new perspective.
Today, join us as we dive into Ring of Honor. Let's exchange handshakes and uphold the Code of Honor while exploring the rich history of Ring of Honor's Pure Wrestling Championship. Let's go back a few years. Well, more than a few years, back to the early 20th century. Professional wrestling began as a carnival act. It was a way to showcase the skills of grapplers and strongmen while also taking easy marks for their money.
Over the years, it evolved into grand pageants of opulence and into the gritty, dingy halls of the independent scene. Sports entertainment became the phrase most associated with this art form, thanks to a certain wrestling promoter who, like Voldemort, shall not be named.
But buried deep within all these expressions of professional wrestling is the beating heart of something pure. There is purity in outlasting and outwitting your opponent without tricks or interference.
There's a purity to bending your opponent into a grotesque pretzel while gleefully tearing their tendons as they clutch for their final rope break. Professional wrestling's artistic and athletic purity is best exemplified by Ring of Honor's Pure Wrestling Championship.
Just a few moments, history will be made as we will have the first ever Ring of Honor Pure Wrestling Champion. Competition at its purest.
We're punk rock over here at Binary Star Wrestling, which means we don't normally like to follow the rules. But in the pure rules scene, it's the rules that make it exciting, dynamic, and more consequential than any rule set in all of professional wrestling. Somehow, the rules make it feel more punk rock. At the heart of the pure rules scene is the desire to showcase the craft, skill, and athleticism of these technical masters. Do you really enjoy watching two heavyweights stand in the center of the ring punching themselves into oblivion for 5 minutes straight? If you are poisoned by the boredom of monotony, then the pure rules are the antidote you need.
For starters, closed fist punches to the face are not allowed.
Nope.
No more center of the ring slobber knockers. Each fighter gets one closed fist punch to the face, but it counts as a warning. Yes, we know, it's strange because American professional wrestling is so centered around the worked punch. But not here. Not under pure rules. Not when the purity of the craft is on display. Punching your opponent a second time results in the immediate disqualification from the match.
The second one is where things begin to
get strange.
Each wrestler is allowed only 3 rope breaks to interrupt a submission. Just 3. But in this case, 3 is not the lucky number. Once you've used up all your rope breaks, something fascinating happens.
That is rope break number 2 used by Lee Moriarty.
Once you've lost your rope breaks, the ropes themselves become a pinnable surface. If you pin your opponent's shoulders to any of the 3 ropes and the referee counts, you win. And once you've lost your rope breaks, you can also be pinned under the ropes or on the apron.
It's a fascinating adaptation of the traditional ring structure that allows for a dynamic use of space, creating explosions of activity and surprise.
Thirdly, the championship can be lost or gained via disqualification or countout.
If a match goes to its time limit, a panel of judges determines the winner.
Again, this rule set is different, though not by much, and it creates a different set of expectations and challenges in the match. It allows people who have only experienced traditional pro wrestling to enter the twilight zone of the squared circle. It's familiar, yes, but it vibrates on a different frequency.
Oh, and by the way, outside interference in a pure wrestling match results in the immediate termination of the offender from the roster, effectively being fired by Tony Khan on the spot. So long,
so long,
sucker!
Philosophically, the Pure Wrestling Championship is all about showcasing the individuals. It's about their skill, their brilliance, their power. It's about their conditioning, their ring IQ, their use of psychology.
It's about distilling everything excessive about professional wrestling down to its purest form and showcasing just how amazing, explosive, and powerful this sport can be.
In 2004, Ring of Honor was still an upstart independent promotion known for its high-flying, acrobatic, and sometimes violent wrestlers, many of whom still work in WWE, AEW, and other promotions. As the promotion grew, its original booker, Gabe Sapolsky, aimed to create opportunities for more technical, skill-based, mat-centered wrestling. He envisioned a secondary title for Ring of Honor that would stand out from typical secondary titles, avoiding the usual pitfalls of irrelevance. The challenge was how to make this title stand out and be distinct from the World Championship.
Enter the Pure rules. When he was interviewed by PW Insider in 2004, he painted a very clear picture. No matter what happens in Ring of Honor, you are guaranteed a straightforward, no-frills, great wrestling match on every show, with a unique twist in the rules for the Pure Rules Wrestling Championship. He understood that true wrestling fans aren't just interested in fluff and fanfare with no purpose or meaning. We want to hear the snapping of tendons and to watch the faces of men and women as they grapple with the fact that they, and they alone, lost the match.
But let's go back to 2004. Ring of Honor was on fire. Its stars were burning brighter than these two binary stars sitting before you, and you could argue that there were no hotter wrestlers than AJ Styles or CM Punk. Everybody knew that both men would leave their mark on professional wrestling, and during an 8-man tournament on February 14, 2004, Ring of Honor's second anniversary show, AJ Styles defeated all competitors to be crowned the first Ring of Honor Pure Wrestling Champion.
The other fighters that night were Doug Williams, Chris Sabin, John Walters, Matt Stryker, Josh Daniels, and Jimmy Rave. A month later, AJ Styles would defeat CM Punk to retain the Pure Wrestling Championship in a match refereed by the legendary Ricky Steamboat. Just a month later, AJ Styles would be forced to vacate the title, as he and all TNA wrestlers were pulled from Ring of Honor involvement due to a legal controversy with one of Ring of Honor's founders.
That founder resigned in disgrace and left the company, but it nevertheless meant that a new Pure Champion had to be crowned.
The original era of the Pure Championship lasted roughly 2 years. It was marked by mat-based technical wrestling and held by wrestlers from around the globe. Doug Williams claimed the vacant title in July of 2004 by defeating Alex Shelley.
Williams, a skilled wrestler from the UK, added a competitive edge and a bit of greed to the title, setting him apart from AJ Styles. John Walters then took the title from Williams, establishing himself as a hard-working wrestler who deserves some recognition. He eventually lost the belt to Jay Lethal, whose victory here helped elevate his career onto the national stage in TNA.
Samoa Joe took the title from Jay Lethal, which was surprising since Joe's striking abilities were such a huge part of his approach to wrestling. But he demonstrated versatility and mastery of the craft, and for 3 months he held court defending the Pure Championship.
It was Nigel McGuinness, current commentator for AEW and Ring of Honor and sometime wrestler, who defeated the Samoan Submission Machine to hold the title for 350 days, breaking records and arms along the way. This era of the Pure Championship ended on August 12, 2006 in Liverpool, England, when Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon himself, the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, defeated McGuinness to unify the titles and chart a new course for Ring of Honor history.
Or so it would seem. Just 1 day later, the powers that be decommissioned the Pure Championship, making Danielson's reign just 1 day long. It was over. It was all over.
However, hope springs eternal. And in 2020, Ring of Honor initiated a tournament to establish a new Pure Champion.
The bracket was stacked and featured wrestlers from around the globe. From Ring of Honor, competitors included Jay Lethal, Dalton Castle, Jonathan Gresham, Josh Woods, and others.
Participants from New Japan Pro Wrestling, such as David Finlay and Rocky Romero, were also part of the event, along with some notable independent wrestlers, including a young Wheeler Yuta, who would eventually win the belt 3 times, setting a record for the most reigns in Pure Championship history. The tournament showcased technical wrestling over more than a month, running from September 12th to October 31st. On Halloween night, instead of tricks and treats, there was a bloodbath, a fierce showdown culminating in Jonathan Gresham defeating Tracy Williams to become the new Ring of Honor Pure Champion.
Gresham's reign was characterized by a strict adherence to the Code of Honor and the Pure rules. He was an ambassador for highly technical wrestling, weaving it into his persona. These rules went beyond being mere match guidelines. They reflected his personal ethics, and he fought valiantly until Josh Wood dethroned him in September 2021 at Death Before Dishonor 18.
In spring 2022, it was announced that AEW President Tony Khan had purchased Ring of Honor. At Supercard of Honor 15, the first event after the announcement of Khan's purchase, Wheeler Yuta defeated Josh Woods to start his first of 3 reigns.
On an episode of AEW Dynamite in September of 2022, Daniel Garcia defeated Wheeler Yuta to kick off a respectable 94-day reign. Although Garcia's persona has been a dancing fool, his technical skills are undeniable. You can't become a pure champion without being worthy of the belt. Nobody wins this by accident. You win by being booked to win, of course. Wait.
Are we supposed to know this? Back to the champions. A title traded hands between Katsuyori Shibata and Wheeler Yuta until July 2024, when Lee Moriarty finally captured it, beginning his unprecedented and still ongoing 659-day reign. 659 days! Lee Moriarty has overshadowed every previous record. Into the double digits of his title defenses, Moriarty represents the next generation of technical wrestling. He has swagger and skill, with the sincerity of purpose to twist his opponents into submission every single time.
He is also an accomplished painter, adding another layer to the ferocity and technicality of his persona. Moriarty is an artist across multiple mediums, cementing him as the greatest and most well-rounded Pure Champion of all time.
And better late than never,
although it should have happened much sooner,
Ring of Honor announced the creation of the Ring of Honor Women's Pure Championship. After a series of false starts in 2025, a tournament was organized to crown the first champion. The 8 women competing for the belt were Taya Valkyrie, Queen Aminata, Deonna Purrazzo, Trish Adora, Billy Starks, Olympia, Serena Deeb, and Yuka Sakazaki.
Deonna Purrazzo and Billy Starks faced off in a 14-minute technical showdown, with Purrazzo ultimately winning by forcing Starks to submit. Purrazzo continues to enjoy her reign, defending the title regularly in Ring of Honor.
It's unlikely that the Pure Championship will ever match the popularity or significance of the AEW or even the Ring of Honor World Championship.
And that's okay. The Ring of Honor Pure Championship embodies the distinct difference between wrestling and sports entertainment in its clearest form. For those interested in exploring something different, this is the title scene for you.
15 championship reigns shared among 13 different male champions and 1 trailblazing woman as the first women's Pure Champion. The intense spirit of Pure Rules Wrestling demonstrates how unique this sport truly is.